Here we go. The Wizards and the Heat. They're going to play a late one tonight in Miami. And, well, uh, uh, so read some interesting news with Miami yesterday. It didn't involve anything on the court, but that's for another show on another channel, I think. Here with the Heat, big favorite in this one by 9. This one opened as low as 7.5, and I have seen as high as 10. But in fact, uh, some books open. So there's been a widely reported uh, move here. I think is, or maybe just let's call it a discrepancy on the opener, but we're settled here right now at 9 for the most part. Do show the sharpest book here in Las Vegas up to 9.5 currently, and the total here for this one has dropped to as low as 224.5. Here's another one on the move lower today. I think that's what I think. I feel like it's more of a league wide trend right now. You saw some of the scores. Look, I know Boston. You know that 155 that I joked about yesterday. I guess that was their second. Was it their second highest regular? I don't know what they said. Second highest non-overtime score ever. I think that was an anomaly. I feel like the scores. I feel like this is more of a league-wide trend to the under here. Like we've started too high, haven't we? A little bit. I almost feel like we're getting away from that some of those obnoxious overs that we were having. I don't know. I think maybe teams figured out that that might not be the way to go. It's still going to happen, and it's about the pace. And I think Rodney said it real good talking about that other game, whether we agree or disagree. Um, because it is all about. Oh, sure. I mean, anybody can bury a bunch of three. We know when we watch the game, we know what we're seeing, right? And we don't even need to check the stats sometimes when the percentage when it just feels like they're hitting everything or the. But it's those games where it does fall closer to the total that we don't that make the difference. Quite frankly, like I've said in the past, unfortunately, in our game here, that luck is going to determine whether we win or lose. Probably more than not, but it's the games that don't have the luck that we can that determine if we are good at what we're doing. So hopefully you're here for some of this great sports betting philosophy. But let's look at this one with the Heat here for Brent. He says 113, 110, right on here. Darren does like the over. Solo likes the Wizards. And Mike says he thinks it's going to land right in there. So he says that, try to. And this is one, if I feel this way, Mike, like this, um, I won't necessarily. I'll open up a ticket. Usually, either Miami money line or Wizards plus 10 or more. I'll when I want to play a game like that where I'm thinking it is right or in the middle, and even agreeing here a little bit with what Brent was saying. If you think the game is kind of right on, so but you want to watch the game or you think it is going to be, um, I don't know, because it's tough if you don't do live betting. But open up your ticket with the extreme. Don't go just right in the middle. Don't pick a point. Take the dog and add 3 or more points, or take the favorite and get it down by 3 or 4 points, and open your ticket that way. And maybe just and then work with it as you get into the game, because then you'll have you know more. You could be out of it right away, just like anybody who has one specific plan. If it backfires early, the Heat been covering spreads, says Rodney, dating back to last season here. Obviously, says or yeah, in the favorite role as the last five. So right, because so far the Heat have been obviously a disappointment, but uh, at 1-4, we're not necessarily expecting that from the Heat. So how can they be such a large favorite here? Because the Warriors aren't. I mean, the Wizards aren't very good against the number either right now. Well, no, they're 2-2, 2-2. I should. 1-3 straight up. So, Wizards often do pretty well in this series when they're getting the money. I know that. Rodney says, they have. Oh, are they even going to get up for this game? Right. That's well, Rodney. Don't forget, this is after all the in-season tournament. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will, other than the playoffs. I kind of agree. I kind of want to take Washington here, and you know what else I want to take. We'll see. Darren, well, I know Washington 2-2 against, but you could be talking about in general. Now, Washington has been pretty strong over team dating back to last season. Remember, they're not a playoff team, so their games are kind of run the same. But those games were kind of going over last year a little bit. But Miami more so under here. All right, Curvin. I'll do it with you guys. It feels like we're leaning a little bit Washington in here. That Miami is not a good. We know, right? I mean, Miami was that team last year, right? They weren't covering. They don't cover things. They're good, right? We like. I mean, make an adjustment here. All right, there we go. One day soon, I'll be all caught up on my setup here. Okay. Yeah, apparently it's money. So Rodney, they don't need a trophy. There is a trophy. It looks that looks a little different than the Larry O'Brien trophy, but I think it's an extra check. Anytime you give these guys a chance to make a little extra money, I guess uh, they might be a little more into it. And if you can do it in less games than 82, again, these count towards the regular season standings as well as the in-game in-season tournament. So I'm going to take Washington here +9 in this one. Again, I don't want to be my Amy at this point covering numbers. It just doesn't feel like they're in. That's more what they're not interested in, right? Rodney here, no doubt. Wizards 3-1 to the over so far. Um, but you better clean this up. And I don't know how. We'll see. If teams interested in playing defense here. I would think the only one who might have trouble. It's funny. I mean, you think of a matchup like if it's here in Jordan Poole, everybody makes fun. If when Jordan Poole tries, I think he's a good defense. You know, and again, I mean, he takes a lot of plays off too. Uh, I know people. You know, Warriors are all celebrating his departure and everything, but I think it's I'm still a little bit okay with Poole. I know everybody's kind of down on him. Gafford, game time decision here. Uh, Jimmy Buckets. What's his status too? Don't forget. Let me see here. I don't think he has a. In fact, this total's moved back up here right now. I'll say that. I'll keep it at 224 and a half, but we're seeing action here to the over right now up to 225 and a half, even 226 now at Bovada. Could it be that I think we knew Butler was in, so I know he had. Kitty wants to take Washington here as well, but Bam probable as well. So I don't know. There's definitely a move to the over here right this second, and also a move here to what did I say? 224 and a half, 225 ish. So I'll keep it at 224 and a half because I'm leaning under, but I think it could be at for 225 here. A little bit of move, a little bit of push back here. And we're seeing on the next game too. So let's move on.